As we continue on designing our border sheet that's going around our CO2 Dragster drawing, we're going to go ahead and delete some of the dimensions we use to lay out the actual lines for the border sheet. So I'm going to delete this one here, and I'll come up here and delete that one as well. I'll roll, using my middle mouse button, I'll roll out to see the dimension that defined the one side of the title block. I'll go ahead and delete that one as well. Now what I'll do is go to Trim Entities. I'll make sure I got the corner set up here, and I'll select that line, and then I'll come over here and select this one as well. So that puts in the title block. Now if we go back and look at the competition rules guide for the competitive events, we'll select on this, and let's go back and look at it. It says each entry must be submitted at check-in with a full-size metric drawing of the completed vehicle. The two-view top and side drawing with metric dimensions is made on drawing paper no larger than 11 by 17. Sizes are developed using standard engineering practices and procedures. The drawing must produce using traditional drafting methods or CAD. The title block includes only the participant's entry number. So what I'm going to do is just highlight that right there and do a right mouse click and copy that directly from the competition events rules guide. So we'll go back to our dragster here at drawing, and I'll get out of this command, and I'll come up to annotation, and I'll put, let's try putting a note in here. So I'll put a note right there, and I'll do a Control V, and I'll put the entrant number in there. Well, that's a little small, so let's go ahead and select all of that using a Control A, and I'll increase the size of that to about 24. With that done, I'll go ahead and check that off, and I'll just move this up right here. Now, I may want to clean it up a little bit, so let's double click on it, and let's make that capitalized. So I'll do that, can put the E in, and I'll come over here and put the N, and then I'll come over here at the very end, and I'll put a colon in. So what happens with this is that when we actually submit our drawing, they're going to get, or excuse me, submit our project and to be judged and raised. They're going to give us an entry number that's going to go on the bottom of our cart on a little sticky, round sticky thing they put on the bottom of the cart. We can also take that, and there's another piece of it, they'll put it on the actual drawing itself, so it corresponds with the drawing and the dragster when the judges look at it, just in case they don't get it mixed up. And that entrant number will also correspond with your badge and your chapter that comes in to compete at a TSA district, state, or national event. Okay, that's already in there. Now let's go back to this in a moment. Now what I want to do is go ahead and put two little notes in here real quick. So let's go to the note command again, and we'll just click right in that area. We'll go ahead and set the size of this note to 24 point. And we're going to say drawing is in metric 1:1 scale. Period. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and I'll get rid of that particular thing there. Click up here, hit escape, and now we have annotated our drawing to let the judges know that the drawing is in metric and it's 1:1 scale. So whatever measurement you see here is like 28. Let's zoom up on this here real quick. Like it says 28.825 millimeters. They understand that is in metric, and the scale is 1:1 on the drawing. And that corresponds back to our competition rules guide, where it says each entrant must submit a check-in a full-size metric drawing. Scale of being 1:1 means that whatever you see in the drawing is exactly at the scale of the product you're producing. So that will suffice, that requirement for that particular rule, and make our drawing complete. Well, let's go back and look at the drawing one more time. So that looks good. Let's go ahead and get out of that particular note. Let's do an F to zoom up to it. Now, one thing that's in here I really don't need is this particular center line that's going across here. I'm just going to select that, right mouse click, and I'm going to hide that. So now, as you can tell here, the drawing looks pretty good. I want to make one more slight change to it, where I actually select this part of the drawing, and I'll just take my up and lower arrow keys, and I'm going to move that up so the drawing is better centered, so you can see the notes better, you can see your entrant number better. What's really important when doing dragster is to never ever, like on a lot of projects, in the Technology Student Association is to put your name and school name on there. The reason that the judges and TSA do that and require that you not put your name or your school name on there, it can sometimes create a bias, or at least the perception of a bias. So in looking at what I have here, everything looks pretty good, and I think we're good to go ahead and print this drawing and submit it. So let's go ahead and save our file, and then we can now go and save our drawing. And one last thought is, next what we need to do, if we're going to manually make our dragster as opposed to using a CNC machine, we're going to come back and create an additional drawing in the next video that does not have all of this information in it, but does have the necessary information we can use to print a drawing out and then transfer that design onto our balsa wood block. So let's stop for now and come back to that in the next video.